What if the most beloved stars of Hollywood's golden age harbored secrets so shocking they could have destroyed their careers instantly? Behind the glamorous facades and perfect smiles lay a dark truth that studios spent millions to hide. From 1920 to 1960, countless young, handsome, and desperate men arrived in Los Angeles with nothing but dreams and stunning looks. To survive in a ruthless industry, many made choices that would haunt them forever, selling their bodies to powerful producers, directors, and studio executives just for a chance at stardom. These aren't baseless rumors, but documented truths from witnesses like Scotty Bowers, Hollywood's infamous sex broker, and historical records that reveal the industry's most carefully guarded secrets. Today, we're exposing 10 legendary icons whose paths to fame began in the shadows. If you're ready to discover the shocking truth behind Hollywood's golden age, subscribe and hit that notification bell, because these revelations will forever change how you view cinema's greatest legends. James Dean, rebel with a desperate cause. James Dean became the symbol of American youth rebellion with his iconic red jacket in Rebel Without a Cause. But behind his brooding persona lay a desperate struggle for survival in Hollywood's unforgiving landscape. Born in rural Indiana in 1931, Dean arrived in Hollywood at just 20 years old, penniless, unknown, and burning with ambition. According to Scotty Bowers' explosive memoir, Full Service, Dean attended private parties at the Chateau Marmont, where young men were treated like high-end merchandise. Dean was allegedly number 6 on Bowers' list, serving cocktails and providing intimate services to powerful figures like director Nicholas Ray, who later cast him in Rebel Without a Cause. To secure his first television roles, Dean reportedly spent nights with influential producers who promised opportunities in exchange for physical favors. Secret films were even shot during these encounters at Beverly Hills mansions, later used as leverage to control his career. Despite his meteoric rise through East of Eden and Giant, Dean lived in constant fear of exposure. His tragic death in 1955 at age 24 remains mysterious. Was it the pressure that drove him to dangerous speeds? Marlon Brando, The Godfather's Secret Confessions. Marlon Brando revolutionized acting with his raw, emotional performances in A Streetcar Named Desire and The Godfather. But his journey to stardom began in the shadows of New York's underground scene. Born into a dysfunctional family in Nebraska in 1924, Brando arrived in New York hungry and willing to do anything for his craft. According to leaked diaries and his own candid admissions, he slept with anyone in power, directors, producers, even reporters, to advance his career. Brando was a regular client of Scotty Bowers, receiving $300 weekly from director George Cukor for late-night private rehearsals at Cukor's Hollywood Hills villa. His personal diary allegedly contained a list of 14 powerful men who helped his career, including Jack Warner of Warner Brothers Studio. In a shocking 1975 Playboy interview, Brando admitted, "I slept with whoever could give me a role, man or woman. It didn't matter as long as they had power." Despite winning 2 Oscars, his openness about his past revealed the system's cruel exploitation of vulnerable young talents. Rock Hudson, the manufactured heartthrob. Rock Hudson embodied masculine perfection in romantic comedies with Doris Day and epic dramas like Giant. His towering frame and movie star looks made him America's ideal leading man. But Hudson's entire image was a carefully constructed lie built on desperation and exploitation. Born Roy Scherer Jr. in Illinois in 1925, he arrived in Hollywood as a poor truck driver with acting dreams. Manager Henry Wilson, notorious for managing handsome young men, immediately put Hudson on the premium gift list at private parties hosted by studio moguls. According to leaked Universal Pictures memos and Bowers' testimonies, Hudson was obedient and discreet, serving multiple clients per night at Malibu villas. These arrangements helped studios earn millions while Hudson's career skyrocketed. Wilson renamed him Rock Hudson to sound more masculine, and the studio arranged a sham marriage with Secretary Phyllis Gates to deflect gay rumors. When Hudson died from AIDS complications in 1985 at age 59, he left behind a note. "I was never allowed to say no." Ramon Novarro, the Latin lover's tragic end. Ramon Novarro was MGM's answer to Rudolph Valentino, a dazzlingly handsome Latin lover who conquered silent films with epic performances in Ben-Hur and romantic dramas. But his rise to stardom came through the industry's darkest corridors. Born José Ramón Gil Samaniego in Mexico in 1899, his family fled the Mexican Revolution in 1916, arriving in Los Angeles in poverty. Young Ramon started as a waiter and dancer in clubs before entering films, struggling to survive in a hostile environment. According to Andrés Suárez's biography and Scotty Bowers' accounts, Ramon provided private services to Hollywood elites like actress Alla Nazimova to survive and secure roles at MGM. His stunning looks made him a valuable commodity in the studio's underground network. Ramon became a major star, rivaling Valentino with films like The Prisoner of Zenda and Scaramouche. He successfully transitioned to talking pictures, but struggled with alcoholism and career decline. The tragic culmination came in 1968 when Ramon was brutally murdered at age 69 by two male prostitutes who tortured him, seeking hidden money, but finding only $20. Montgomery Clift, the longest suicide in Hollywood. Montgomery Clift redefined screen acting with his intense emotional performances in A Place in the Sun and From Here to Eternity. His tortured beauty and vulnerable masculinity captivated audiences, but his personal anguish began long before his famous car accident. Born into aristocratic luxury in Nebraska in 1920, Clift started on Broadway at age 13. Despite his privileged background, his arrival in Hollywood in 1946 marked the beginning of a desperate struggle where beauty became currency for male prostitution. According to Scotty Bowers and leaked studio documents, Clift frequented underground parties where vulnerable young men traded dignity for opportunities. His stunning looks and talent made him valuable to powerful figures seeking both professional and personal services. Clift formed close friendships with Elizabeth Taylor, but his inner torment was evident. A devastating 1956 car accident after leaving Taylor's party scarred his face and accelerated his addiction to drugs and alcohol. Hollywood insiders called it the longest suicide in Hollywood. His homosexuality remained hidden due to societal pressures. Clift died in 1966 at age 45, his talent forever overshadowed by personal demons that began with his desperate early years. Sal Mineo, the teen idol's dangerous secret. Sal Mineo captured hearts as James Dean's troubled friend in Rebel Without a Cause, becoming a teen idol with his expressive eyes and vulnerable smile. But behind his success lay a dangerous secret that may have cost him his life. Born in the Bronx in 1939 to Italian immigrant parents, Mineo grew up in poverty before finding success on Broadway in The King and I. He arrived in Hollywood at 16 with dreams of stardom and little understanding of the industry's dark underbelly. According to friends and Scotty Bowers' accounts, Mineo was invited to private auditions at producers' homes on Sunset Strip, where he stayed overnight to secure his breakthrough role as Plato in Rebel Without a Cause. After Dean's death, Mineo fell into despair and reportedly turned to selling his body for survival, taking private deals in Palm Springs for supporting roles in B-movies. His 1976 murder outside his West Hollywood apartment remains controversial. While officially ruled a robbery, his wallet and watch were untouched, and a suitcase containing alleged Hollywood evidence disappeared. Was his death a warning? Anthony Perkins, Norman Bates' hidden torment. Anthony Perkins became horror cinema's most memorable villain as Norman Bates in Hitchcock's Psycho, but his greatest terror was his own hidden sexuality in an industry that demanded masculine perfection. Born in New York in 1932 to Broadway actor Osgood Perkins, Anthony grew up in an abusive household after his father's early death in 1937. His mother's violent behavior scarred him emotionally, setting the stage for lifelong anxiety about his identity. Struggling in the 1950s theater scene, Perkins reportedly participated in male prostitution circles at New York clubs where private parties provided desperately needed income. His striking looks and vulnerable demeanor made him attractive to wealthy patrons seeking companionship. His breakthrough came with Friendly Persuasion in 1956, earning an Oscar nomination, followed by his iconic Psycho performance. But success couldn't resolve his internal conflicts about homosexuality. He underwent failed conversion therapy and married photographer Barry Berenson in 1973, having 2 sons. Despite his marriage, Perkins maintained secret relationships with men like Tab Hunter. The constant pressure of hiding his true self contributed to anxiety and depression. He died from AIDS complications in 1992 at age 60. Tab Hunter, the all-American boy's secret life. Tab Hunter epitomized the all-American teen idol with his blonde hair, blue eyes, and wholesome appeal in films like Damn Yankees and Battle Cry. But his perfect image concealed a lifetime of carefully hidden truths. Born Arthur Kelm in New York in 1931, Hunter grew up after his parents' divorce, moving to California with his German mother. After serving in the Coast Guard, he struggled to make ends meet while pursuing acting dreams. Under manager Henry Wilson's guidance, Hunter allegedly ran in underground male prostitution circuits, trading his dignity for screen opportunities. His stunning looks made him a valuable commodity in Wilson's network of young men servicing powerful Hollywood figures. Hunter's career peaked in the 1950s with major studio contracts and hit records like Young Love. He dated prominent actresses for publicity while maintaining secret relationships with men, including a romance with Anthony Perkins that both kept hidden for decades. The pressure of maintaining his heterosexual image while living as a gay man took its toll. Hunter didn't publicly acknowledge his sexuality until 2005 in his autobiography, when he was 74 years old. Cary Grant. The suave star's hidden struggles. Cary Grant defined Hollywood sophistication with his impeccable style, witty charm, and romantic appeal in classics like North by Northwest and An Affair to Remember. But his polished exterior masked a childhood of trauma and desperate early years in America. Born Archibald Leach in Bristol, England in 1904, Grant's childhood was marked by poverty and his mother's mental illness. She would lock him in closets as punishment, creating lasting psychological scars. He joined a circus troupe at 14, arriving in America in 1920 with nothing but ambition. According to Scotty Bowers' accounts, Grant engaged in male prostitution alongside roommate Randolph Scott when both were struggling actors. Their unusually close friendship became Hollywood legend, but insiders knew the true nature of their relationship. Grant's 5 marriages were attempts to project heterosexual normalcy while concealing his bisexuality. Each relationship ended in divorce, with whispers about his true nature never fully silenced. Despite creating 72 memorable films and becoming cinema's ultimate leading man, Grant lived in constant fear of exposure. He died in 1986 at age 82, taking his secrets to the grave. These 10 stories reveal Hollywood's golden age as both dream factory and nightmare for countless young men seeking stardom. Behind the glamorous facades and perfect images lay a system that exploited vulnerability, traded dignity for opportunity, and forced talented individuals to live in shadows of fear and shame. From James Dean's desperate early days to Rock Hudson's manufactured masculinity, these stars paid tremendous personal costs for their success. They sacrificed authenticity, endured exploitation, and lived with constant terror of exposure in an industry and society that criminalized their true selves. Yet their stories are ultimately about resilience and talent, transcending the darkest circumstances. Despite the exploitation they endured, these men created memorable performances that continue inspiring audiences decades later. Their art outlasted their pain, their talent overshadowed their trauma. Today's Hollywood has evolved significantly, with greater acceptance and protection for LGBTQ+ performers. But these historical accounts remind us of the price previous generations paid for our entertainment and the importance of understanding the human cost behind the magic of movies. Their sacrifices helped pave the way for today's more inclusive industry, where authenticity is increasingly celebrated rather than hidden. If these stories moved you, subscribe to learn more about Hollywood's hidden history. Share this video with others who appreciate the complex truths behind cinema's greatest legends, because understanding the past helps us build a better future.